video, I'm going to talk to you about what I am using now to build my business. When I started learning about entrepreneurship, I looked at Ash Murray's work. He wrote this book called Running Lean, and he has a technique, so he called it the Lean Canvas. And the Lean Canvas helps you to identify the important components of your business. Like, what products are you going to make? Who is your market? Are you going to get the product to them? Are you going to make money? Look at this place called revenue streams. It's just like looking at something like a car. A car should have a tire, it should have an engine, should have steering wheel. So basically, your business should be able to sort out all of this cost structure. Okay, what are the things that you need to pay for? So this customer segment is where you figure out your customers themselves, the channels, meaning that are you going to get the product to your customer? And so it's a very good tool because it helps you go from having zero idea about how your business is going to look like, to be structured, to actually seeing the parts. But the problem I had with Lean Canvas is that it was too theoretical. Okay, it didn't show me how to start building. It just told me things. Okay, if I figure out who my customers are, if I figure out my unique value proposition, if I figure out the problem, if I figure out my cost structure and revenue, okay, so then what? I sketched this and I call it the build canvas. It is a simpler tool and it doesn't look like this. It's a bit different. It looks kind of like a flow. And this flow has been able to help me understand the components I should build and how these components interact and work with each other. This tool was more useful to me, and I'm going to show you how I'm using it. At this first component here, we have something called distribution. So just look at my cursor. My cursor is going around this point. This point, we have distribution. Distribution is all about bringing people into your business. How do you bring people into your business? And there are so many ways, but I'm just going to be picking ways using the internet because the internet has made distribution easy. You can start by creating content on social media, and so you can run advertising. From there, you are going to lead your distribution to a landing page. There's something I learned from Seth Godin's This is Marketing, where he talked about creating communities and permission marketing. And with permission marketing, you ask for their permission, and that's what all this landing page you see online does. Sometimes you go online and someone will tell you that they are running a particular promo, they are doing something. So once you click on it, it takes you to a page where you can collect their address. So that's the point of this landing page. Okay, you want to direct your potential customers from wherever they are and get them to your landing page where they drop their contacts, and this makes it easy for you to contact them. I learned from Subi that Subi is a marketer, a very good marketer. I learned that once you are doing an ad and the goal of your ad is to get people to buy from the ad itself, your ad is going to be less effective. There are going to be less clicks. But when your ad is like a gift, you run an ad to something free. They call that a lead magnet. So that is what you are seeing here that looks like a box with a play button here. A lead magnet is like a bribe. You are bribing them to give you their contact information. So once they sign up, the next best thing to do is to nurture. Not everybody is going to be ready to buy your products at an instant. About 97% of the market, 97% of people you attract into your landing page that sign up are not going to be ready to buy your product. You have to get to know a person first. Interact before someone can be comfortable with giving you their money. They have to trust you and you have to build a lot of goodwill. So building a community, or it could be a group, is a very good way to not customers because now you have them. They are on social media, you don't really have them, you can't really contact them. But the good thing about community, especially creating something like a WhatsApp community, is that once they join your community, you can go to your group description and you can look at their information. You have their phone numbers and you can later DM them. And the best way to nurture someone in a community is by creating webinars or creating events. You have to create weekly events, periodical events to introduce them to what your business has to offer. You have to keep on educating them about their problem and how your business perfectly solves their problem. That's what this stands for. This is like a call. It can be live if you want, or it can be over the internet. That's fine. Your lead magnet is not your product. Your lead magnet is just a bribe, just so that you can do this. You can have one-on-one interaction with your customers. When you do start a business, you may think that your product idea is good, but really you are just making a guess. You need to understand what your customer really wants, then build. So you need to sell first before you build. And it may be confusing because you may think that how do you sell a product before you build it? Most of us, we believe that whenever we are selling, our job is to get someone to purchase. But selling too is also discovery. It's not all sales calls that you make that you need to get your customer to buy something from you. A sales call can be a discovery call. Because when you DM somebody in your group, you DM them and you ask them what problems are they having, what solutions have they used before. That is also sales. So that is what this part of this flow chart, this is what it stands for, right? Now you have their contacts, they're in your community. You can talk to them one-on-one because you need a very tight view of the problem itself. Most people are not going to really tell you so much in a community. The community is for hosting events. And these events and these webinars is not just for educating them, it's also for getting them to buy your product. So it's a selling mechanism in a way. Now, this is where real insight and ideas come from. When you start a business, you start with an idea for a product. Now, the thing about doing one-on-one is that you actually get to discover if your idea is right. When you start to talk to them close up, you ask them questions. There's this book on sales that teaches you how to sell by asking people questions. And you should be talking, you should allow the customer to talk 90 to 80% of the time, because the more you talk about your product, the less your probability of selling. You have to let them talk about their problem. Let them talk more. You learn. That's the advantage to you. So you sell by asking questions and you let your customers speak most of the time and you learn. This is where your cost. You're not trying to sell your product, you're trying to discover. Now, once you talk to your customers, probably you've talked to like 100 of them in your community one-on-one, you need to talk to them one-on-one to get information. You will notice there is a kind of relationship between the individual problems that is going to inspire you some kind of an idea for a product, an idea for a solution for them. And when you do it this way, instead of just building your product straight, when you do it this idea is more informed. You have an idea that has the probability of actually working. So this is where you actually sell. This is a sales page. But at the same time, in your community, you also want to be talking to them because you are not sure. You want to improve your product and you're not sure if this product is the best. Once you start doing this, you're not really going to get people that are going to buy. The point is not really to sell them, but just place the sales page there. So you can just drive traffic and see what happens. Now, after talking to them and you've gotten insight and ideas and information, you can now begin to create something. And the next stage is what? Solution design. You have to start designing a solution for them. And it's not really about building an actual product, but trying to piece together what is possible, what possibly could solve this problem that these people have been telling me about again and again and again. After you've designed a possible solution, you've not really built anything. You just have like a sketch or a map in your head of, oh, okay, I think if we put this together and I put this together, this is possible. And you need to create something like a demo, not the full product. You have to create a small product that they can use, they can test. So you do that here. If it's a physical product, don't go ahead and create 1,000 of it. Just create about 10, very few, so you do not waste so much money. So from solution design, you now have to create an offer and a sales page. Not everybody can sell through sales page. I understand that a sales page is good if your product is not worth more than $1,000. Nobody's going to give you $1 million over the internet. You have to get them to your office or you have to get on a call with them if they're buying something like a car or a plane. But if they're buying a product, a physical product, most of them are usually less than $1,000. So you can use a sales page to talk about your product, to explain your offer, inform them about the price, and put a buy button, get their payment. So you keep on going through this step, getting people into your community, nurturing them, speaking to them one by one, getting ideas. So this is the creative part of your business. This is where creativity will help you. When you get ideas about the problem, you start designing solutions. You start thinking of what could possibly solve this. Creativity is key here. And you design it. You may design 10, 20 solutions, but as you design each solution, you want to be creating an offer, which is a reflection of that solution. You want to put that offer on that page, and you want to also get them in your communities or webinars or events, and you want to keep on exposing them to that offer to see if it's something that they want. And once you get confirmation that, I've tried so many, right? I've done solution 1, I've kept the offer, nobody responded. I've done solution 2, that's after speaking to them. I've created an offer, nobody responded. I've done solution 3, 4. You keep on doing that. You've eventually come across a solution that you are going to create. And once you put that offer in the page action, people are going to want it badly. Now you have a business. Now you have an offer that you know that if you try and sell it, it's going to work. Then you now build the product itself. So this is where you start building your product. So what other proof is better than somebody who is ready to give you their money for what you have to offer, especially when you've not built it? So once you've done that and you start getting money coming in and people are paying for a product that does not exist yet, you have to be sincere with your customers. The product doesn't exist. I am going to make it in a span of this time. And when I'm done, okay, I'm going to release it to you. You pay now, there's going to be a discount. Like you give them something or a bonus for paying early. Now, once you get people buying the product, paying for it, you've gotten everything you need as an engineer. In fact, this the entrepreneurial success is. You validated that there's a market, because an entrepreneur's job is not to make a product, but to discover a market. Once you've discovered that market, which is nothing more than people actually giving you their added money, then you can go and start creating it. So that's where this component, this part of the flow, this is where it represents, right? Product building. After building your product, you release your product to your customers, and there's nobody that uses a product without leaving something. There's always data. Data is important if you are going to improve your business itself. And always learn to collect customers' review. Put a website out there. Give them another bonus. And if they leave a review on your product, you give them a bonus or something. Always get some kind of review. If you are building an application or a software business, it's always easy because there are tools that you can put into your application that can measure metrics, like how many times people visited your app, how many times your users clicked on it. All those things are data, so you can know what is working and what is not working. There are two types of data you can collect, right, for your analytics. There's qualitative and there's quantitative data. Quantitative data is the number metrics. How many people clicked on a link? How many people bought? How many people came and bought again? But quantitative metrics is looking at what they are saying, their review. You are looking at their emotions. If somebody is saying that, oh, I would likely refer your product to somebody else, this product is amazing, you want to look for those comments. They are important too. And all those comments and that data is also going to inform your insight. Again, it's going to inform your insight. You will take that insight to improve upon the design of your solution, and you are going to use to change your offer again. And if they want it, you are going to rebuild your product or iterate upon your product. So this system is very useful because it doesn't just show you the components of your business to build, it shows you how they interact with each other. For me personally, what I did when I started creating this business was I started by creating this lead magnet first. You can start by creating a lead magnet first. You can start by creating an offer first. You can start by, you can't really do this unless you have people into your community, but you can start by creating content on social media. A business is a system of operations, a system of actions working together to achieve something, to improve your product and to sell it. So you can see this as a system where you have this part and this part and this part. An entrepreneur is a business builder with a focus on marketing and sales. And if you look at every point of this, you would see that everything requires sales. Sales is all about getting people to act, to do something. So even when you create content, you should have a call to action. You should inform people that I have something that is likely going to benefit you. Okay, you are selling. With your ad, you are selling. In the lead magnet, you are selling. What are you selling? You are selling what? The free lead magnets. The lead magnets, the free bonus, the free trial. Lead magnet can have different forms. It can be a course, it can be a trial, it can be a discount, it can be a list to free tools. So you are selling the lead magnets. You have to get to what? What is the action? The action is for them to input their contact information. When you are doing your events and your calls, what is the action you want from them? Is to go and purchase your product on the sales page, or to call your seller, or to call you and purchase your product. Okay, so this is where purchasing naturally happens. So at each point, you can say that sales is the engine for this system. It is sales that allow this system to work. So think about a pipe and it has different connections, but without a source of water, water cannot come out from both ends. So you can think of people as this water, your customers as this water. You want them to flow through, your, but in order to get them to flow through, you need to sell. At each point you are selling content, ad, landing page, sales page, calls. You are always selling at each point, because without sales, you cannot get entrepreneurship to work. So an entrepreneurship is a business builder with a focus on marketing and sales. The greatest skill of an entrepreneur is being able to sell to people. In fact, this is your entire business laid out on a paper. This is how you build your business, and this is very functional, and this has a practical approach to business building. Once you can validate that people are willing to pay and you start getting money coming in, then you can start hiring teams. You hire teams. You can hire team for your content. You can add agency to help you do your ad. Now, because money is actually coming in, you know that this idea is going to work. You know from running this system once, you've seen that people are paying. So you know that when you scale it, meaning when you reach more people with your advertising, which means more time and more money, you can get what? You can increase what? Payment here. You can always increase payment here. Marketing is always a process of, you don't convert everybody. You may get 1,000 people into your system, and at the end of the day, 10 people may end up paying. This is the way it works. 100 people may end up paying. But if you get 10% out of 1,000, that's good enough. Many businesses don't even get that kind of conversion. So what that means is you've justified getting investors, you've justified hiring teams, because you know that if you do scale a business like this, you will make more money. If you get 1,000 people and 10 people convert, and 100 people convert, 10% convert, If you get 1 million people into your business, even though you get the money, get investors and get 1 million people into your business, 10% of 1 million is what? 2,000 people. So the money does increase. Okay, but first you need to discover if there is a market, right? You need to always learn. So this system allows you to learn. It gives you a way of learning intimately with your clients, your customers. It gives you a very lean way of building your product. In fact, this is the last part. All this part is the last part. If this does not work, if you do not get traction, if nobody pays you for the solution that you have designed, you design another one. If people do not pay you when you try to sell to them, it means you lack an understanding of their problem. Remember, I told you that a business has to understand. What makes most businesses fail is the lack of understanding of the customer's problem, not your ability to build. Anybody can build anything, but if you lack understanding of the problem, your business is surely going to fail. So you have an option to learn with them intimately. So this is how you use the build canvas. But this is like a map. You know the components of your business, you know how they work with each other, and you can go ahead and build each of these components. You plug everything, you connect this to that, and you build all parts.